All right, welcome back to a solo episode of Grown Man's Game tonight. This is a special edition as we just checked out Victor Wembanyama's first ever NBA action as he played in Summer League tonight in Vegas against the Charlotte Hornets and Brandon Miller, the number 2 overall pick. Before those guys played, the earlier game was Scoot Henderson getting his first action as well. All three guys had moments, if you would. I'd say the least. Some not so good moments as well, starting with Victor Wembanyama. So we'll start off with him. You can tell I'm a Hornet fan, so I got a lot invested in this, especially with Brandon Miller being taken over Scoot. Uh, I made my thoughts clear on that when that first happened. I have not been a fan of the move. And I think even with tonight, this being Brandon's best of his 3 games in Summer League so far, when you get Scoot Henderson out there and you see what he can do and the one-on-one moves he's able to make and creating his own shot, Scoot, I still believe, should have been the pick for us at number 2. But we'll get into that here in a minute. Like I said, Brandon did have a pretty good game tonight. This most aggressive that he's been in his 3 games, and did not make any cheap fouls as he did, combining for I think 14 or 15 fouls in the first 2 games that he played. So we'll get into this in a second because obviously Victor Wembanyama is the story, and Vic had a interesting night to say the least. So he started off really wanting to make an impression on the fans because they were in full force. That place in Vegas was absolutely packed. Summer League's been waiting for this. ESPN's been waiting for this. They couldn't get enough of themselves talking about Victor coming to this game, and the cameras were on him from every moment of the night. So getting started, not all that bad, I guess. Right away, you could tell he was being deferential to his teammates. He'd put the ball on the floor. He would go left and right, both hands. He'd look pretty good there, very smooth handling the ball. And he tried to set up his teammates for passes more often than not on it instead of shooting. So it was a decent start, slow start. He wanted to get himself acclimated to what was going on. And he made a couple really, really nice passes underneath for wide open layups. Oh, and of course, you've got your defense on his side. The defense is ridiculous. He's going to be an A-class, top tier NBA talent on the defensive end from day one. We saw tonight when guys like Brandon Miller tried to take him one-on-one, make a step back 3, and had absolutely no luck. Brandon Miller tried to shoot a step back 25-footer, and it never had a chance. That thing was blocked by Wembanyama 25 feet out of the hole. So he ended up with 5 blocks tonight. You can see where that's going to be his number 1 asset coming into the league. Yes, he's long. Yes, he has athletic skills. He has all kind of options on offense. Right now, it did not look that way tonight. He only had 2 buckets. Guy went 2 for 13. That's not great. And one of those was in the last minute of the game where he hit a 4-point shot, his only 3-point make of the night. I mean, he went, if I believe it, 2 for 13 all over the game and just 1 from 6 from 3, that being his only shot. He shouldn't probably even have been in the game at all there at the end. So he makes his 1-3 in garbage time. They were winning by double digits the whole way. It was never in doubt. So in the first half, all he had as far as a make goes, and it was a pretty looking layup. He had a shot where he got fouled, got caught up in the air, actually turned it to his left hand, kind of an awkward angle, and made a nice little layup off the bank and had an and one there. So both his shots tonight were and ones. So he can take a little bit of hit contact and still score the bucket. That's kind of been the knock on him. He has not been strong enough when he gets up against the big time centers in the league, and even some bigger power forwards are probably going to guard him because he wants to play outside the 3 or 4. He's going to get bullied around. Can he be strong enough to get buckets on those guys instead of people like Kai Jones of the Hornets tonight, who is not a starter in this league and is just hoping to hold on to a spot in the NBA right now? And Kai made him look bad in a couple of times. He threw down the absolute one of the best dunks of the entire summer league so far on him. It looked Blake Griffin-esque on one dunk. So that's what you're going to get when you're a shot blocker in this league, no matter how good you are, no matter how tall you are, no matter how long your arms are. Wembanyama is going to get dunked on here and there, and he already got it. Game 1, Kai Jones, a B-rate NBA star, and this guy goes up on him and just absolutely Blake Griffin's one. So that was impressive. Get used to that, Vic. It's going to come more than once. Some guys bigger and stronger than Kai Jones are going to come at you. So good luck with that. But overall, he really looked good playing defense, whether it was just one-on-one against any of the guys that the Hornets threw at him, or when it was coming off screen rolls, when guys would come to the hole and he'd play help defense. He ended up, like I said, with 5 blocks. And one of those being on the deep 3 by Brandon Miller. So that was impressive. Stepping out on those screens. He did that a lot. He likes playing up front on the perimeter. He does not seem scared of that at all. His footwork is plenty good enough to guard a 3-man or 4. And he wants to do it a lot. He wants to be out there. So you're probably going to get to see it, although I'm sure his coaches want him to be down low because that's where he's really making the biggest difference, down low on defense. And his shot blocking, he just created havoc and made tough shots for the Hornets all night long. So he was affecting shots everywhere at all times. Every time he's in the game, guys are pulling up, and the Hornets just had an absolutely dreadful night shooting. They've had dreadful nights in all 3 of their games. They shot below 30% overall. They only shot 16% from 3, went 5 for 32. It's just unacceptable. Only 2 of those are from Brandon Miller. He was the only one that had looked halfway decent. James Bucknight tried to throw up some threes and was just absolutely bricktatious. So that was not good at all. So Wembanyama clearly had an effect on a lot of that stuff. So as I said, his passing was also really, really nice. Often came around and tried to use his long arms, getting around defenders, passing down low, interior passing, whether it was on a bounce or straight chest pass. That looked great. He's going to have to do a lot of that because people are going to focus on him, especially with the lineup that the Spurs have right now. So that looked good. However, he got into a lot of trouble in that as well. As soon as he put that ball on the floor, these Hornet guards were all over it. And that's going to happen more and more often as he gets into the league further and further. He's going to get it swiped, and he got it swiped at least 3 or 4 times. I think officially he had 5 turnovers on the night. Because right now, he is not a one-on-one player in this league. He is going to have to get a lot of rebounds and putbacks, step out threes. He was going to try and take some balls to the hole on occasion, and then it will probably work against some guys. But tonight, he looked shaky. And honestly, I'd say he had confidence most of the time, but lacked confidence a lot of the time as well. You could see it. And he cannot be sitting out there on the 3-point line like a Brook Lopez is this entire game. That's not going to be his game. I know he wants to be a 3-point shooter in this league, but that's not going to work. I'm sorry. I don't really like his 3-point shot right now. As I said, he went 1 for 6 tonight. He did not look good. His arc on his jump shot is way, way too high for him being 7'3.5". It doesn't work for me. I don't get it. He does not need to do that. He needs to develop more of a Kristaps Porzingis kind of jumper, a little flatter. It doesn't need to have that much effort going into it. He should be able to get that ball there really easy on a lower trajectory 3. We saw him hit his free throws. He's 4 for 4. He's got a really nice form. He's got a really good jumper. We know it's there. Right now, I do not like what he's doing from the 3-point line. He needs to step in a little bit, make the 10, 12-foot jumpers, which he should be able to do really easily and dominate that way. Don't get out on the 3-point line. It's a waste of his time. I know he did it a lot when he was over in France on a lower level league. It's not going to work right now. And he tried going back to the basket a couple times, and you could tell he was clearly not comfortable. He would try to put the ball on the floor. There was no fadeaway jumpers. I didn't see any of those tonight. Even Kai Jones tried a fadeaway jumper. He does not have that in his arsenal. But Vic needs one of those. If you can develop a little, Hakeem fadeaway, he would be unstoppable because, like I said, he's got the shot. He can make that fadeaway if he wants to. Right now, we did not see that. So I think he needs to do more of that. He needs to get down and be more comfortable with his back to the basket. He's 7'3", for Christ's sake. Get down low, work the guys. You're going to have an advantage every time when you're down low. Turn around, get the ball, then turn around, spot up, get head to the basket, and see what you can do in that situation. You can just shoot over most guys. Do it. Your shot's good enough. You can make that shot. You don't need to be standing at the 3-point line. Get down low, work on your back to the basket game. So he ended up tonight with only 9 points, 8 boards, and 3 assists. The assists were nice, like we said, but he's got to do more. I know he's not trying to go out there and dominate the score sheet in game one. He's being deferential to his teammates. He want to make them look good. He's trying to do everything in his game, and he's just having fun. He said it after the game. But there's a lot left we're going to see. We're going to see more in Vegas and Summer League as well. But a little bit of an inauspicious start to his Summer League so far. So Brandon Miller looked really bad his first 2 games. Not gonna lie, he had 18 points in his first night, but it was not on good shooting. And he went 5 for 15 in his first game. He had 6 fouls by halftime of his first game in Sacramento earlier in the week. That was also against these same Spurs, minus Victor Wembanyama, of course. Tonight, though, he really went at it, and he started off pretty aggressive. He went to the bucket. He had a couple step back threes when Victor was not guarding him, and the shot looked beautiful. He swished 2 of his first 3-point shots. Didn't make another one all game though. Ended up going 2 for 6 from the 3-point line. But I love the aggressiveness. He actually did a couple of crossovers, made a couple of nice jumpers, went to the hole. When he attacked the hole, he did it well. He had a monster dunk on a fast break tonight that I did not see coming, and I haven't seen in the first 2 games at all. This time he really attacked the rim hard, and you got to see that. You have to do that. He will not be successful in this league, and this will be a failed number 2 pick if he just sits out there on the 3-point line and takes spot-up jumpers from LaMelo all night long. And maybe, yeah, sure, he'll score 15 points on 5 of 15 shooting and have maybe 2 layups attempts the entire game. But if he's shooting 80% of his shots from the 3-point line, that's a fail, in my opinion. He is not a spot-up 6'9" shooter. There are other guys who can do that. That's not who you spend your number 2 pick on. So this guy needs to go to the bucket more. I think he can. He showed tonight that he has that in him, that if he wants to be, he can go over people and through people. So now we need more of it, though. And then when he did it, he bricked his free throws tonight. He only went, I believe, it was 3 from 6 from the line. So that's not going to get it done. I know he shot 86% free throws at Alabama this past year, so I'm not really worried about that stat. It's just an outlier on this time. He didn't shoot hardly any free throws in the first 2 games, so he wouldn't go to the bucket. He was settling for threes. So I like the fact that he actually got 6 free throw attempts. He needs to be getting 10 to 12 free throws every single night if he's going to be a success in Charlotte and if he's going to get 30 minutes a game on the floor. If not, and he's settling for threes, we don't need that. Anyone can do that. As far as those 3, I have another little issue with that because what I've seen so far, yes, it's a nice stroke. It's good. But he starts that thing from way too low. That ball is starting from his mid-chest, and he gets it out. I don't think it's that quick of a release. I'm a little bit worried of it. I think people, and you saw Victor block a 25-foot 3 from him tonight. Who blocks step back 25-footers? I know the guy's long, but the whole reason you're taking a step back 3 is to get away from that. And if you're 6'9" and still can't get one up, what does that say? That means you're shooting the ball from too low. You're shortening yourself by 6 inches. You may as well be Terry Rozier shooting the ball if you're going to shoot the ball from your face and not over your head. And one of the cool things we saw is that he was guarded by Wembanyama quite a few times tonight. And when he did, he could not get by him. Now, that's an elite defensive player we're talking about, but he does not have right now, I believe, the one-on-one skills that it takes to win in the NBA. And we're going to get to Scoot in a minute because I think he absolutely does, and he showed that in his first game. But right now, Brandon Miller he took a couple guys off the dribble late. And the first 2 games, he did not. He hardly ever did that at all. He wasn't even trying to. He was giving the ball up too much. He was not attacking. He wasn't going in with the body. You're 6'9". You should be able to get through people a little more. I know you're skinny, a little bit skinnier. You probably would. You're going to get bigger in time. But come on, man. You got to get to the rack. At that size, you're going to be playing a lot of 3 in the league, more than likely. You're going to have matchup on your side. You got to power through these guys. And right now, it doesn't seem like he wants to. I thought I saw a little bit of it more tonight, and he needs to do more of that. Like I said, I keep saying it and keep saying it. He cannot be a spot-up 3-point shooter for this team. that would be a fail in every sense of the word. He needs to attack the rim more. He needs to go hard. We finally saw it late in the game when he threw down that monster dunk. And that needs to be his game more, and get to the line and get more free throws and get more points. This guy can score 20 points in this league if he wants to, but he's not going to do it if he just sits out there and stands on the 3-point line and hopes to get our guards, LaMelo, and whoever else getting him free for threes. Cannot do it. So that was great. Like I said, he looked a lot more aggressive. He had a double-double. He went for 16 and 11. His first time he went over double digits and rebounds. No reason why he can't be doing that in the league as well. He's big enough. He's going to be bigger than most other threes that he's guarding this season. He needs to get in there, stay around, rebound on the defensive end, and attack the offensive glass more, because he didn't do any of that. You never saw him hardly ever, maybe early a couple times, go to the rim and try to grab an offensive board. He did that just very little. He needs to do more of that. He's long enough to where he can get some cheap buckets that way if he ever wants. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about Scoot Henderson and what I saw from him playing against the Houston Rockets. He played against Amen Thompson, which is another story. That guy looked really, really smooth, really nice. Would have been a good pick for anybody in the top 5. The Rockets, I think, got a steal with him at number 4. So with Scoot, though, at number 3, as a Hornet fan, I wanted this guy. I wanted this to be the pick. You could see it right away. I think I'm not the only one who could see it. The entire Charlotte Hornet fan base saw it. They booed the pick on draft night, and they're going to probably boo it even more throughout the season if what we saw tonight continues to happen, because Scoot looked the part. He has an NBA body. He is fast as hell. He beat guys off the dribble all night long. His one-on-one game is a hell of a lot better than Brandon Miller's right now. And he was crossing people up, stopping and popping from 12 and 15, and making shots look easy. He made 1 3. It was nice. He's probably not going to do that a hell of a lot. We know that coming in. He was not a 3-point shooter. That's not on his resume, but he can do it. We saw him do it. It was a good-looking shot, but he's not going to be that guy. He is going to go in. He's going to be DeMar DeRozan kind of player, get into the 15-foot range, pull up jumper over his guy after he loses him, shakes him a little bit because he has that one-on-one game. And then he stopped. He had some hesitation on the dribble, on the fast break, blows by guys, goes to the hole. He had like 3 really, really nice layups. And when he was going in for other layups and people started to attack on him and move over to help, he found guys on the outside for easy jumpers. The guy went for 13, 3, and 3 in the first quarter alone. I mean, that is what a star does. The star comes out in his first ever summer league game and puts up 13, 3, and 3 in the first 10 minutes. That is a guy who wants it, a guy who is ready to go from dribble number 1. And that's why we wanted this guy in Charlotte, and that's why every other team wanted him. That's why Portland is prioritizing him over Damian Lillard right now, is because of what you saw in this, just in the first quarter alone. He ended up with 15, 5, and 6. He shot 5 or 13 from the floor. So he had a couple misses, but those ones that he did make looked really, really nice. A couple beautiful crossover dribbles, got his defender off of him. Every single shot that he made was a one-on-one bucket that he beat his guy man on man. And that's what this league is all about. That's why I keep saying he's NBA ready, and the body is NBA ready as well. He wants to attack. He wants to get to the hole. He wants to score buckets, and he's going to be a stud in this league for a long time. Now, he did hurt himself early in the third quarter. He did something with his shoulder. We don't know how severe it is right now. We'll see more probably in the morning, and hopefully he will be playing more summer league, because he's supposed to be playing against Wembanyama and the Spurs here in a couple of days. So that would be an amazing thing to see, a rematch of when they played this past season, when Wembanyama came over from France and played against the G League Ignite. That matchup, they both went crazy. They put up like 65 points between them, and we really want to see that again this week. So I hope that happens, and the shoulder isn't janked up like we unfortunately may be. So fingers crossed on that one. But he looked right at home in the summer league, right at home in this team. And that had some guys like Shaedon Sharpe on it already, who was scoring 20-something points tonight for the Spurs too. And he was the better player. Scoot was the better player the entire night, despite having a guy who was scoring 25, 30 points a night sometimes late in the season last year against NBA players. So that is my recap of night one of the Vegas Summer League. Thanks so much for tuning in, and we will come back to you soon.